In this video, I want to talk about what the flashing red lights mean. Sometimes we come to an intersection and students aren't quite sure what the flashing red symbolizes, and it's identical to a stop sign. Now, whether it's acting like a four-way stop there or just a plain old stop sign depends on what is facing the other traffic on that at that intersection. So we're coming up to this the first intersection here with the flashing red light. We can see there's another clue here. They're saying, look, there's a stop sign up ahead. So it's the shape of a stop sign, an octagon, and then they're saying up ahead there is one, and they're trying to create even more visibility by putting that flashing red. It's telling you the same thing as that. So long story short, they're telling you don't have priority here. You need to make a full stop. You need to check cross traffic or check the crosswalk. If it's clear, inch up and see what's going on. And when you have a safe gap in cross traffic, you can go ahead and make your left or right turn. In this case, I believe we're going left. So long story short, you just need to exercise a bit of patience here and get going when there's a safe gap. And then I think further down at another intersection, there we go. So the next clip here, we're coming up to another intersection with a flashing light, and this one also says stop here. Okay, and so we have a flashing light here, and if you look at this light, it looks like there is 4 lights here. So you might be tempted to think, hey, that must mean that they have a flashing red light too, so they have a stop sign. But we can look here and we can see there is no stop sign here, and there is no stop sign on the, oops, we don't see a stop sign here. So the other lights here are just flashing yellow. They're saying to these vehicles here, pay extra attention to this intersection. And so they're reiterating with this flashing light, flashing red light, that we have a stop sign. And they're telling these people with their flashing yellow, hey, just make sure you scan this intersection more carefully. And then again, so we creep forward, check to see the cross traffic, and when it's safe to do so, we proceed. Okay, and we'll just see what happens here. One more traffic before we go ahead and make our turn. Okay, cool. And then the next clip here, we're coming up to, whoop, there's another one. So this one, again, is slightly different. Underneath our stop sign, it says always stop, right? So now we know not only do we have a stop sign, but the crossroad here has a stop sign. And it's so easy to check for their signage, right? To see what's facing them. And so if we've got a flashing red light here, and we can see 4 lights up here, chances are the other people here also have a flashing red light at them. And I find that they put these in at intersections where drivers are confused, or it's more prone to collisions, or there's not good enough visibility. So they're just trying to make it more clear for everyone that, hey, obey what the sign is telling you here. Okay, and so first to stop, first to go at a 4-way stop. And last but not least, we're coming up to an intersection here, and generally speaking, this intersection here has a regular operation of the traffic signal. So it cycles through the whole green, yellow, red, but at this point in time, I believe the signals are not working. I think maybe the power was cut off at this intersection. So it's gone to a flashing red light for us, and we can tell just from the behavior of these cars here all stopped. Chances are these people here are also getting a flashing red. as we get closer to the intersection, we can glance and see what their light is telling us, so whether theirs is flashing as well. But when a regular traffic light turns into this state where it's just flashing red, it becomes a stop sign, at least for us, facing us. And once we stop, we have to keep in mind, okay, it looks like these people are also stopping, so that means based on their light that they're also facing a flashing red. Now it becomes like a four-way stop. So first to stop, first to go. And because there's so many lanes of traffic here, you need to pay additional attention to who's coming up to stop before you and when is it time for you to go. It can be a little bit confusing because there's 3 lanes here and about 3 lanes there, including the turn lanes. So you got to be thinking, okay, when is it time for me to go? And we can see up here we stopped and we're letting some cars go through here, and then as we're about to go, Mr. Taxi driver here decides, this is a good time to speed through the intersection. And then another driver here decides, I'll just go anyway. So we got to pay a bit more attention to people like that. At the same time, you don't want to overly hesitate where you're just sitting there, because as I mentioned earlier, it's hard for people sometimes to keep track of 6 lanes. So they might thinking, well, if they're stopped, maybe it's my turn to go. And so you got to keep that in mind. But in this case, let's walk through that again. Okay, so it would make sense for us to let these cars here go. And Mr. Taxi driver fell asleep there. And then this person is disregarding the fact that it's our turn here. So this is why it's important to know who stopped first as you're approaching this type of intersection. So long story short, pay attention to what's happening up ahead. Is it a red light or is it a flashing red light? If it's a flashing red light, is there somebody else that doesn't have a flashing red light? What is your regular control signal at that intersection telling you? Is it just a regular intersection light that's gone to a flashing red light operation? Or have they put in a flashing red light to highlight the fact that there is a stop sign at that intersection? And then if there is a stop sign, does it say 4-way? Does it say all-way? Does it just say stop? If it says stop, then okay, that means somebody else here doesn't have a stop sign, right? So if you're coming up here and realizing, hey, regular stop sign, flashing light, what's going on? That means you don't have priority at this intersection. We stopped, we went forward, we checked, and then we proceeded when it was safe.